And welcome back to the Arizona Cardinals 20-year rebuild. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I hope you're all having a great day. Please leave a like, comment down below what you thought of today's action, and don't forget to subscribe. As we are entering into year 14 of this rebuild, and in 13 seasons, you know, we've made it to 2 NFC championship games. Over the last 3 years, we have made it to the playoffs. At least I think we've gone 2-3 during that time. And overall, when you look at this roster, it screams at you playoffs every single season when you have a 28-year-old quarterback who's an X Factor, 97 overall, and Will Britley. He's been leading the way over these last handful of seasons. But this team is starting to get older. This team is starting to get more and more expensive as well, as we are a very old roster. I'm gonna show you guys that in a minute. But when you look at the current state of it, you know, we have our top 3 receivers, all 3 of them entering into a contract season next year. So receiver is a big question mark. Henry Harris here, 29-year-old back that we traded for, starting to regress. And we're gonna have to consider finding his replacement, even though he's been a very solid, capable back. And we saw throughout the years, when a couple seasons without a good running game, we struggled. You know, the tackle's a question mark. You know, Stewart's a free agent. Christian Sweeney's a free agent. Do we go out there and bring in a veteran again, like an Andrew Stewart caliber player? Chase Green is also a free agent, coming off of his best season. He's gotten all the way up to superstar after winning O-Lineman of the Year. So it's important to potentially keep him as well. Flipping it over here to the defense, you know, we drafted a young pass rusher. Hopefully that he can develop into something nice. Our edge this past season played excellent in Cole Beckman and Elijah Fletcher. But Coolest Mims, a kid that I continue to talk about, he continues to break out for this team. And after getting a long-term extension, in my opinion, he's our new captain and the new leader in the middle. So what does that mean for Dalvin Lawrence, as over the last 2 off seasons now, we've tagged him? Do we look to keep him? Do we look to let him test? He is the current captain of this defense. We traded him from the Browns. It's gonna be a very interesting off season. We're trying to reload. We're trying to improve this team, but it's finding that balance as we sim ahead. But as I was saying, we are an old roster. I mean, when you sit here and look at our top players, there's only a couple guys who are younger than 27. Deion Fitzpatrick, Cameron Wall, Daniel Huff, and Coolest Mims. Yes, Mitch Ford comes to mind, and Cameron Hayden. I mean, these are 2 25-year-old receivers that are kind of our future duo. But at the end of the day, guys, we are an older roster, and I think we need to find a better balance between starting young players and starting these veterans as we're trying to win a Super Bowl. $78 million to work with, as we do have a couple key free agent signings. Daniel Huff, 5th-year option, absolutely. One of the best guards in our franchise. Dalvin Lawrence wants a 2-year, $20 million, which is not bad at all for him as a starter. Christian Sweeney, tackle. Andrew Moore, the first overall pick bust, who did pick up a sack this past year. Elijah Fletcher, Cole Beckham, Chase Green. There's a bunch of important players here that we need to get through. So let's get those out of the way first and foremost. I'm gonna give a 2-year contract offer to Elijah Fletcher, $55 million over the next 2 seasons. Fletcher stays. He's just a very important piece to our defense. Gonna offer 2-year, $27 million here to Chase Green, and he would like to play for a new team next year. And, you know, he does not have a lot of interest in returning. Tag would be $23 million. And Chase Green is a key anchor to our defense, or our offensive line. Excellent as a pass pro. He has always been very underrated in this franchise. Chase Green is a player that we can't really afford to lose, but there's still a couple other contracts that I want to give out beforehand, so let's do that. We'll roll back to Chase in just a moment. I'm going to offer a 2-year deal to Thurman, defensive tackle. I think he's, at worst case scenario, just quality depth. So with $46 million, let's go through player by player and let's get some of these guys out of the way. Tap, our backup center, Andrew Stewart, all of these guys we're going to be letting test. Same thing with Tyler Reese. All of these guys not thinking about. Reggie Powell, who's been on this team for a hand throughout his whole career, gonna let him test. Dalton Caffrey, Rashard Kitchens, these are 2 quality depth players that I want to keep, but we're gonna circle back to them. Darnell Moon, we're gonna let him test as well. Andrew Moore as well. And that leaves us with just a few contracts to work with. Let's start here with Dalton, a 1-year, $2 million. Keep him around for quality depth. You always need that. Rashad Kitchens, he always catches a couple scores. And he signs the 1-year deal as well. And our remaining players are right now Cole Beckham, Jamar Taylor, Christian Sweeney, and Dalvin Lawrence. For Christian here, I am going to let him test. He's a solid tackle, but I think we're going to let him go. Jermichael Taylor, same thing. The difference really is that we signed Thurman. I think I'm going to go youth at defensive tackle. With Cole Beckham here, I think this is a contract that I want to deal with in the in open free agency. So that just leaves here Dalvin Lawrence. Still does not want to be here. Still a little over 10, close to $11 million. As much as I really like Dalvin Lawrence, and he has been such a key player to our team, I am going to let him test. After 2 years of being franchise tagged, we're going to give Lawrence that opportunity. But I am not going to be letting Chase Green go. I am going to tag him, leaving us with $20 million to work with. Lawrence will hit open free agency. You know, I think that this makes the most sense for our team. And I just want to show you guys this screen here. We have 37 players on the active roster out of 75. $20 million to work with. You know, we are paying a lot of guys top dollar. You know, our drafting has not been terrible, but it hasn't been great either. And there's just a lot of money being thrown around out here. If we are looking to save anything, Tyrone McKinney could be an option. Same thing theoretically here for Wade Rayfield, Henry Harris as well, Jeremy Jones. So, you know, there is a couple players that, you know, you could look to move off of to save a little bit of money. The big one here would be McKinney here. You know, gonna enter into year 10. We signed him in open free agency. He was that ball hawking corner that I wanted to get. You know, played 4 years in Minnesota. And for the last now 5 years, he's been exactly what I've wanted him to be. He's had 2 years with us without 3 interceptions. So really, do we want to move off of McKinney and say to ourselves, you know, we have a nice young corner in Cole Timmons, and, you know, Marco Hughes could play third if needed, could be our fourth. You know, McKay here, he could be the only player that I look to trade, and it might occur because we need to fill out this roster. Here's the current open free agency. Dalvin Lawrence looks to go to a new team, and there is some quality players, absolutely. Again, the game continues to say I'm targeting 2 players when I'm not, so I'm gonna try to make some moves and see what we can do. And after looking around free agency, there isn't a guy that I would like to target with our remaining cash. I think that this money has to be used to bring in veterans to fill out the rest of this roster. We don't have a lot of money. And, you know, as much as, yes, losing guys like Dalvin Lawrence, Christian Sweeney, Jamal Taylor, or Jamichael Taylor and Cole Beckham will be significant losses, but I think when you look at the team and really where we need to kind of take a year to focus on, it's the draft. You know, currently when you look at the roster, you know, you have 2 young tackles playing right now, and I think, you know, we drafted Andrew Langford in the second round. I think this is his season. Give him an opportunity to play. I might make the decision to move Traquan Starks, second-year guard. So sorry, guys. I continue to talk on the mic. I am not feeling the best. But Starks could theoretically play tackle for us. So do we decide to go in the direction of playing 2 second-year tackles for this team? That's absolutely a possibility and on the cards. You know, when you flip it over here to this defense, we drafted 2 very good defensive tackles, 3 drafted in the first round a year ago, and Brian Daly here. Yeah, I think we're going to be giving some of these higher drafted players over these last handful of seasons opportunities. So this $19 million we are not going to use until later on in free agency, where I'm just trying to fill out depth, basically. But I am going to spend some money here, leaving us with about $5 million. We're going to target 5 players. Terrence Mormon, I don't know why no one wants him. I'm lowballing the guy. We'll see if he comes in. Bingham, he's a power back, and I want him. He has 99 break tackle. Just interested in having him. Orlando Thomas, he played for us for a while, first or third overall pick in a draft class where I do have a lot of regrets, to be honest with you, taking Thomas. There were 2 other blue chip players, but one went before us, the one that I wanted. Thomas was the guy and never really panned out. But he had a Pro Bowl season this past year, and he's not a mentor, but he's still solid depth. Wimberly here, a player that played for us for a season, had 12 sacks. I replaced him, and then he's kind of bounced around. And Moreland here, just solid off-ball linebacker depth. As we get Bora out of the 5, the tackle is the only one who still is making some, waiting for an offer to come through. I am gonna just evaluate, and he does sign, and that's huge. So, you know, in free agency, we were able to add in a quality back, a quality tackle, you know, depth at corner, depth at pass rusher, and a middle linebacker. I think we're kind of going into this draft class trying to get younger at some of those positions as well, but just trying to get younger. We're going to play this very smartly, and we added quality depth, and that's what we needed. As we've made it to the NFL draft, and here is the current state of the roster after signing a couple players. I think we have pretty much our starting offense here. We have our quarterback, backup quarterback, our 2 solid backs, our 3 receivers, our tight end group. I think Andrew Longford starts at right tackle. I think, you know, maybe drafting another young receiver and running back makes a lot of sense. Of course, draft another offensive lineman. But I think that's it for the offense. Defensively, Well, Mims will be playing middle linebacker, and I think either Rush here or McFadden will play on the other side. You know, that could be a direction we go. I do think trying to find another edge rusher makes a lot of sense, as Elijah Fletcher is 34 years old. You know, he didn't regress at all, but, you know, 34 years old, he could retire at the end of this season. So I think pass rusher is probably our biggest overall need, but I am going to go into this class, which I do have a couple of guys that I like, but I don't think we're going to make any sort of trade ups. We might trade back into the first round, but I think I'm going to let the class kind of come to me and we'll evaluate from there. So as we take a look at my favorite board, we got all the way to our pick. There were a couple guys that I really liked. There was a good tight end and safety that went. We do see Darren Laws here is a top 5 talent. An elusive running back, great speed. He is very fast and he can do a little bit of everything pretty well. Injury, though, is a concern. Does it make sense to start to develop him now and then kind of go from there? We do also have Roman Fulfo here, a corner that I really liked. Though, even though he is the fastest, he would be our 4th corner unless we decided to trade away McKee. Then he would be our 3rd corner at that point in time. But those are probably the 2 big decisions, or the 2 of my more favorite players. But, you know, another guy that we could go down is Jamarcus Streeter here, a tackle, a pass pro, who is strong, and looks solid across the board. The A awareness, he looks like he's a very good pass blocker. Just have to work on the run blocking. So do we go in the direction of adding in another tackle? Because, you know, we did sign a 1-year Band-Aid, basically. Do we go after a running back, as we know Harris will regress? We did bring in a veteran. Or do we go into the corner route, as we do have to decide on what we want to do with McKee, if we want to pay him or not? I have a simple philosophy. When you find a top 5 talent, you draft them. Here at 30, Darren Laws will be the selection. I think Laws can, you know, for a year be one of our backs. He's a top 4 prospect. And even though he has normal development, 93 speed, he looks like a solid, capable back. And now the real question is if I want to try to trade up and try to get basically if I want to go get Raymond Folk, the corner, because do I really want to pay, do I want to risk having to, you know, pay McKee, or go down this road again and not have a kid in the back kind of ready to play? I look at these top 4 teams, I don't really want to trade with them, especially not the Eagles. We're going to sim ahead to the 2nd round. Here in the 2nd round, I'm going to go middle linebacker in Mark Hunt. You know, we need to find the replacement of Devin Lawrence, who went to the New Orleans Saints, by the way. Sorry, I didn't show you guys that. But we got Hunt here, right around the spot he's supposed to go. He's more of a run stopper, middle linebacker. That's okay with me, but 85 speed, that's solid to start off with. Here in the 3rd, we're gonna go with Jake Phelps here. He's a deep threat. He looked to be a very good athlete. And coming in with a 79 rated true value. Normal dev, 99 agility, 99 acceleration with 97 speed. Wow, we just got a whole lot faster in the receiving room, and he's going to be our 4th corner most likely. We're going to go with a pass rusher here and Jalen Mullins here. We have 3 4th round selections, and looks to be an okay player potentially. Hopefully a solid overall to start with. I'm going to go with Devon Roundtree here. He's a corner. I'm hoping or maybe some late round, just solid talent, and 63 in true value, hidden development as well. Roundtree could be a solid fourth corner for a season and develop into potentially our third. I'm going to be staying on defense. Dion Allman, a defensive tackle. I know we're already getting younger there, and I want to keep us in that way. 96 strength, 82 in true value. Solid selection here as well. Here in the 5th round, we're going to go with Lance Brown, a pass rusher. Second pass rusher we've selected here. 86 strength, 91 speed. Looks to be at least a solid player, potentially. Here in the 6th round, we're going to draft the tackle in Andy Cordell. Getting a cut screen here. A little bit overrated, 81 strength. Probably a practice squad player. I'm going to be using these next 2 selections on right tackle just to add the quality, just adding players. We're going to go with Justin here, a 24-year-old, 6'8" tackle. Again, just trying to add bodies here. 87 strength, normal dev. Maybe not a good selection there. Well, how about this draft class for us? We had a lot of selections and we made the most out of them. Darren Laws here was the first player we selected, 93 speed. He will develop nicely and he will, yes, be our third back, but I think very quickly he could become our top runner. Mark Hunt here, drafted in the 2nd round. Much more of a run stopper. 85s all around in speed, acceleration, and hip power. It's okay that he's not good in coverage. As long as he can tackle and, get us off the field on 3rd down, I'm fine with that. Jakes Phelps here, the deep threat receiver that can get the ball in his hands and he'll make a play. And I think that's exactly what I'm hoping for from him. Jalen Mullins here, a pass rusher. Solid to start off, 70 overall. That is not bad whatsoever. Can just be solid quality depth for 4 years potentially. Devon Roundtree here, 73 overall corner. Can tackle, can play a little bit of man, good enough speed. Can do a little bit of everything for you. Much more of a slot guy, it looks to be. Getting a defensive tackle in Allman here. Another 71 overall player. All these guys are solid depth. This is a draft class that we desperately needed to do and to have. And then finally, the last defensive lineman that we drafted was Lance Brown here. And again, another solid pass rusher. The finesse moves hopefully will get a little bit better. But we get a finesse guy and a power guy in this draft class. What do you think? Is this enough here? And, the 2 players that I was also considering here, James Orr, he was one of my favorite players, and he looks to be one of the better safeties starting out here for the New York Giants. And I don't know if I missed him. He was the tight end. Yep, Devin Dixon here, going to the Niners, of course. And I was considering doing like a 2 tight end formation type of thing with the team, but obviously those 2 guys go very early on. The Chiefs go a wide receiver with the 1st overall selection, and here are the top guys selected. As we've made it to year 14, as this will be the roster. Will Brittley is your quarterback. You have 2 very young and talented receivers leading the charge in both Mitch Ford, drafted 4th overall a handful of seasons ago, now 5 years ago, and he's developed into a top-tier wideout for us. Hoping to continue to see him produce for us. And on the other side of things, you have Cameron Hayden, who has also developed very nicely, and he's expected to take much more of a big role this season. In the offseason, we went out there, signed a veteran tackle to kind of shore up this line for another season. We drafted a couple young players that I really like. Laws was the 1st round selection. And then defensively, we're getting younger. Letting Cole Beckham go, letting Taylor go, letting Lawrence all walk in this past free agency. We're going to give the 2 young guys an opportunity early on. Well, really the 3. This whole defensive line has changed. Thurman will still play on pass rushing downs, and that's about it. Mims moves to inside linebacker, the new face of this linebacking room, as we are adjusting, trying to get a bit younger, trying to have like a little mini rebuild to really, as this team is so talented, have this episode, maybe even next episode, to just try to build up the youth a bit more, so then the last few seasons, we can have legitimate chances to spend money and win games. We start off year 14 with a loss, losing to the Miami Dolphins. We'll get through the first 4. We got Seattle next, as we start off 0-2. And now we play against Devin Lawrence and his New Orleans Saints. We do beat them. That's fantastic to see. And we have a weekly award winner in Will Britley throwing 6 touchdowns versus this Saints team. And we see a wide receiver breakout opportunity. And this would be, I'm guessing, Mitch Ford. Though Cameron could potentially also get it. I don't know. Probably one of those two, I would assume. And Cameron Hayden is the player that they're going to be, we're going to be kind of keeping an eye on throughout this season. If we get another 100 yards and a touchdown, he could go up to superstar development. So let's see if we can beat the Niners, get back to 500, and we do. What about the player breakout opportunity with Cameron Hayden? Is he a superstar now? Thoughts on Hayden was going off this week, but it just did not happen. And that's unfortunate to see. And he still has star development, no XP boost. And we're 2-2 at the beginning of this season. And here are our free agents. We have $96 million. McKee wants a 1-year, $23 million. A 4-year deal here for Mitch Ford, who also does not want to be here. His motivations do not align, because we've yet to win a championship. It's not close to home as well, but he's our new face of our receiving room. And on the other side of things, we have Cameron Hayden here, who also wants the same exact contract. And that's 2 major decisions. You also have Henry Harris, wants a 3-year, $30 million. Jeremy Jones, playing a lot this year. Chase Green, the best lineman. Wade Rayfield, our veteran receiver. And then some more depth across the board. So I think as of right now, I'm not going to be making any sort of moves just yet. Mitch Ford is someone that I definitely want to keep around, but we're going to sim now to week 8, and then we'll check up on the stats and stuff. As we've gotten to week 8 now, we're sitting here at 3-4. Currently, outsiders looking in about halfway through the season. We've had a couple injuries that I've noticed. Mitch Ford has missed some time. Trace Moreland here has also missed some time. So we're starting, and we don't have a ton of depth, guys. We don't even have 53 players on the roster. We have 51. So it is not Will Britley whatsoever. Leads the league in touchdown passes. He's playing like he is. He's a top 5 quarterback, and that's what you expect from him. Running wise, Henry Harris has not been playing his best football. Is it time to give Laws a little bit more opportunities? Definitely could be the case. Cameron Hayden here producing well. Wade Rayfield producing well. Mitch has already missed 2 games, and it's a slow start for him, and he's going to miss a couple more. As we see Jake stepping up as well. So does Hayden have a much more real opportunity to get a contract extension with us? For the offensive line, so far it's playing okay. It's playing good enough in my opinion. Defensively, we don't even see DeCoulis Mims up here. He is currently 3rd. Deion Fitzpatrick making a lot of tackles. That's not at all what you want to see. Merrill Moreland also playing a lot of downs as well. Elijah Fletcher with 4.5 sacks. DeMarco Bertley here has 3.5. Our young pass rusher that we've drafted has yet to even record one. This is kind of a tough sight to see. 3 interceptions, defense not playing well. Let's see what happens after this week here versus the Rams. If we lose this game, I might be sellers. We actually get the victory over the LA Rams, moving us to 4-4, kind of back into this division slightly, but 4-4. I said I might be sellers if we lost. I'm still thinking about it. We have a player breakout opportunity here for a linebacker, and this is for, I don't even know. One of our linebackers here, Jeremy Jones here, trying to go up to superstar. Nice to see that. But I think there are a couple players I'm going to look to move off of. Tyrone McKee here, I think he might be one of them. Harris potentially as well at this point in time. I think those are the 2 trade candidates, as yes, we are 4-4, but I think it just might be time with a couple of these players. Just try to get some draft capital back. I mean, Henry Harris has yet to score under 4 yards per carry. Tyrone here, he's not playing at the same level. He's still a top 10 corner, so it's so hard for me to move off of him because he has been such an important player, but I think it just makes the most sense right now. So even at 4-4 right now, trending upwards, I am going to make 1 or 2 trades here. And a deal has been made here with the Houston Texans sending Hunter Harris for a 2nd round selection. I think it's fair. He still has, he's still a top running back in this league. I think it makes the most sense for both of us. And we got 1 more trade to make. And a deal has been made here, moving off of McKee to get Colbert, a young pass rusher from the LA Chargers. I wanted to make 2 moves to get 2 young quality players. Deshaun Colbert here is a 22-year-old pass rusher. He was just depth for the Chargers, and we're gonna move him now to defensive end, and he's probably gonna become an instant starter for us. I feel like we need this injection of, edge to this defense, and I think we're gonna get that, as he is an 80 overall, higher than Bailey. So making some moves for our team. That means probably Roundtree will become our new 3rd corner moving on. As we've made it now to week 13, as the current playoff picture is available, and it looks like we're right now outsiders looking in, as we do have a 4-6 record, or 5-6 record. Currently the 9 seed. It's so surprising that we've taken such drastic steps back. Will Brittley is doing everything that he possibly can. Our running game has definitely slowed down. I mean, we did trade away our top back. Cameron's been playing outstanding. Mitch Ford has missed a lot of time already this season. And you see our 4th receiver, and Jake has been producing pretty well. I don't know what changes that we have to make, but I might have to make some. Coolest Mims starting to actually make a lot more tackles. And in terms of sacks, Fletcher has 7.5. We see that Thurman, I mean, we don't have anyone else really producing much of any pressure. Even the kid we just traded for, which is not good whatsoever. Few interceptions. Yeah, I don't really know. Let's get closer and closer here. We have the Giants next, and we do beat them. We see that we have these 2 breakout opportunities. The game wants these guys to play well. Jeremy Jones has been trying to become a superstar for us, but he just continues to earning XP, which is fine with me. And Jones is definitely someone that, you know, he needs a new contract again, so he might, you know, he might be a smart player to consider re-signing. This is for Cameron Hayden here, who has earned 1,000 XP. He continues just to earn XP as well. Sitting here at 6-6. Right now, we are in the postseason. We have the Niners next. Let's get through them. See if we can get another victory. We do so, which that's fantastic to see, because that puts us as at least giving up at least a buffer. We're 7-6 now, 4 games remaining. Another player breakout. This is for Jones. And I don't know, Jeremy Jones needs to do a lot this week to even consider superstar. I'm gonna send the next couple weeks by myself, and then we'll check back in. As we've made it to week 18, we're currently sitting here at 10-6 as we continue to pile up some victories. Clinching a playoff spot here at 10-6 could theoretically become all the way the number 2 seed, which would be great. But so far, so good. We are in the playoffs. Also, Jeremy Jones did reach superstar. As you guys can see, still have yet to really make any sort of decisions. Now Jones wants a 3-year, $32 million, which that's a good chunk of change. I don't know if I really want to make any moves right now. I mean, yes, we have our 2 wide receivers that we need to decide on. What has Mitch Ford done this year? I mean, at the end of the day, he's the guy that we drafted 4th overall. He's improved every season. And this year he has missed some time. He's only going to be playing in 13 games. And he probably would have hit 1,000 yards if he played the whole season. And then for Cameron here, who has played the all year, has also had breakout opportunities. He's hit 1,000 yards. And he's been a pretty consistent receiver for 2 seasons. So they're both crucial. It's about 25 reaching 30. Let's bump up Mitch Ford, and he extends. What does that mean now for Cameron Hayden? This might be a franchise tag or deal, or we might be kind of redoing receiver next year. So Mitch Ford does sign. I'm not going to make any other signings. Kind of surprised that he signed it anyways. How far can we go into this postseason? We have the Eagles here in week 18. Can we get the number 2 seed? That would be hilarious in my opinion. And we go 10-6. We lost. So we are the 6th seed. How did we get to this point in time? Well, off the back of Will Brinkley. Throwing 38 touchdowns, 7 picks, played excellent. Running game, Darian Laws only scored once, but probably got some good XP. Bring him here, scored 7 times. That's a nice complementary duo at running back. We see 1,100 yards and 15 scores for Cameron. You know, he's making his case here, as Mitch Ford only scored 4 times. I did decide to extend Ford, especially because of where we drafted him and everything. Cameron, I don't know just yet what we're going to do with him, because I keep seeing Wade, who doesn't want a lot more, who wants a lot less money, but still producing. So, you know, Hayden could be expendable. In terms of sacks allowed, Andrew struggled at Huff as well, but line played solid. Mims led the way in tackles. Jeremy Jones has gone up to superstar, and he's played pretty well. And we see a lot of good TFLs from our top defensive players. And we see Colbert stepped up in the second half, started to pick up some sacks. Happy to see that. We see Burley here also picking up 4.5, Thurman. But Fletcher is our dominant force at pass rusher. Jermaine Weston picks up 3 more career interceptions. And that's very nice to see. MVP goes to Sean Jackson. We're no longer the coach of the year. Any at all Cardinals, not even the rookies. We had 2 for the offense. Surprised that Will Brittley is not the best quarterback. Nothing here for running back. Same thing for receiver, tackle, or offensive line. So no yearly awards for us. And I do want to show you guys a couple players' career stats. You know, first of all, Elijah Fletcher could end his career with 145 sacks. Fantastic career with us. Love to see that. Thurman had 64.5. You know, Tremaine Weston with 20. 15 career interceptions for Orlando Thomas. We see Wade Rayfield, 1,200 yards, 121 or 12 touchdowns. Definitely a much better career than Marvin Harrison Jr., and in a lot less time, in my opinion. See, Mitch Ford has more career yards than Cameron, but he has another whole season on him. And we see the touchdowns for Will. So let's get through this postseason. How far will we go? We have Tampa. Can we get to the divisional round? Nope, we're one and done. You know, this beginning of this episode, I went in the direction of going young, and my thought process was simply that we needed to keep the players in-house, and we needed to be able to extend. We needed to keep the players in-house, add some veteran talent, but at the end of the day, rely on the last couple draft classes, and it got us only to the playoffs. So this is definitely, we're in a weird position now with this team. I'm so surprised Will did not make it into the Pro Bowl. No running back. Hayden made it as a receiver, as a Pro Bowl receiver. Nothing in terms of the receivers. Cameron Wall made it as the center. Nothing else for the offensive line. Fletcher got in as defensive end. And not even Mims made it in. And we only had a few Pro Bowlers, but that's okay. Next time, we got to be able to bring in a veteran or two to really support this team. Though I do think we got a lot of good XP. We did make it to the playoffs. As we had a rematch of an early 2000 early 2000 Super Bowl. Seattle losing again to the Steelers 24-16. Scott Denny is your MVP. As we are gearing up for year 15, and that will be next time, folks. But, you know, we don't have a lot of money in terms of retirements. And this is the key. Jermaine Wimberly, he's the only one who retires. So Elijah Fletcher decided to stay for another season. Same thing with Thurman. You know, our top end talent is staying around, which is very nice to see. But it also puts a lot of pressure on us because, you know, we have this top end talent that's trying to win and we're not. And, you know, as we enter into this next offseason, $67 million. Cameron has naturally gone up to superstar. He needs a new deal. Cole Timmons and Nicholas here both need to probably pick up these fifth-year options. Jones wants a 3-year deal. Still $12 million for Chase Green. 5 for Wade, and then the depth across this roster. You know, I have no idea what we're gonna do. You know, just signing Chase here, which is 13 really. It would be probably closer to $14 million, leaves us with 63-ish. And then if we give Hayden this contract, I mean, we're probably gonna go into open free agency with right around 20 again, $20 million. So how do you think I should play the next offseason and year 15, which would then, after the end of next episode, we only have a few more episodes to go. So please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I hope you've been enjoying the franchise, and I'll see you in the next one.